Welcome back to Screenfish Radio. I am so glad you could join us this week as we continue on with Multiverse May. Tonight, we are talking about the big one, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I am so thrilled tonight to have back with us the Marvelettes, if you will, Miriam, Ibrahim, and Dina Hamdieh. Welcome, ladies. I'm so glad you could join me.
Thank you.
Heather's not with us, but in the spirit of multiverse, this is her. Heather, this is
That's
yeah.
fine.
What's not variant? What are they called? Incursion? Is that it?
Incursions, yeah. Yeah, yeah. An
Incursion.
incursion when two worlds collide, isn't it?
Oh, that's it. Okay, so this is variant Heather Johnson.
Yeah.
Be here
Yeah.
tonight. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness begins when America Chavez and a version of Stephen Strange are chased by a demon in the space between universes while searching for the Book of Vishanti. When she finally crosses over into Earth 616, she encounters our Dr. Stephen Strange, and the two of them enlist the help of Wanda Maximoff in order to help prevent an interdimensional crisis, only to find that Wanda may in fact be that interdimensional crisis in and of herself. As always, this podcast is rated S for spoilers. And I can't wait to have this conversation because I know Dina has feelings. And this is, I'm actually just looking forward to asking this question. What did you think of Multiverse of Madness?
I have questions. I have feelings. I did not. So I loved the Sam Raimi feel. Just want to start off with that. I thought the writing was not the best. I thought they fell short on the writing, but I mean, I'm not going to give it a rating yet, but it was not my favorite of the Marvel movies.
Okay, this is like variant Dina because before we started this, I thought this was going to be hot tea that was spilled, and you came at it with a softball. So
I can spill the tea. I just didn't want to ramble for a bit. So I think the movie was rushed. I thought there were parts that were not earned at all. There was just this introduction of America Chavez. It was this gargantos, demon chasing her through, and she's so powerful. She opens the portals to other universes. There was no foundation set at all to me. It was like off the bat, started, here it is. She's this powerful. Okay, great. It didn't satisfy me at all. Just knowing that the character has potential to be really great as you introduce her to the MCU. And I thought they really did an injustice to Doctor Strange and Elizabeth Olsen. They did an amazing job with what they had with the script, but the plot and the story fell short for me. I did not enjoy the fact that the multiverse, as much as it was all the multiverse, there was literally no, okay, how many multiverses are we talking about? Right? So you saw the middle kind of dimension where you have 16 sort of pathways to get to the Book of Vishanti, but there was, tell me how many I'm talking about. Tell me how many universes so that I have an idea of how many are we looking at. Then there's this main universe where the Illuminati is. It was just so disjointed and messy. Maybe it was meant to be messy. But what I loved about it, Elizabeth Olsen and Wanda, amazing, incredible, as per usual, horrifying. And she was great in it. That is literally the only thing I can say was great. And let's start with that. And how about you guys say what you think before I dive into a deeper rant?
I didn't like it either, but for very different reasons. Because I didn't mind, like, to me, the infinity of multiverse is reasonable. Like, I didn't need a fixed number. I liked the montage when they're like floating through all of them and they're like cartoon characters and then paint blobs. And I thought that was a pretty fun scene. I didn't like it because it was too dark and way too horror for me. And I don't like horror movies. I don't like scary movies. That is not what a superhero movie is supposed to be. That is not what I went to see. I don't need to see, like, even down to the visual of when Scarlett Witch had dreamwalked into Wanda's body in the other multiverse. And then she's like, you know, like, and twisting her head and moving her hands, and everything is at a very like gross looking angle, and the blood is dripping down her face. I don't need that. That's not what I was going to see. So I'm sad because I wanted to like it so much. We've been waiting so long, and it just got super dark and very horror-y in the traditional sense of horror. Lots of moments that, you know, make 11-year-olds jump, make me jump. And so all of that was there, and I didn't want it. So,
which is so interesting to me because those were the parts that I loved, and I don't like horror movies, but I thought the part where she was going to possess the Wanda in the other universe,
yeah,
oh, I loved that shot as she was floating through to possess her, and it gave me this like, it was I thought it was awesome when the picture of her and her birthday, like she's looking up and looks right at you, and the peas are moving on the plate.
Yeah,
I have to say I like that, but and I don't like horror movies. And I liked when she looked and broke the fourth wall and looked right at us. I was like, so like, this is good. But yeah, I don't like horror movies either, but I thought Elizabeth Olsen was the highlight of the movie for me. What about you, Steve?
This was the best MCU movie I've ever seen.
really?
No.
Did you see?
I just wanted to see if I could get a reaction.
I was pausing because I thought I was going to have to end this.
Dina's done.
And this friendship might be over now.
Dina, she refuses to continue this conversation.
Yeah, no.
No, I will tell you. Okay, first of all, my first mistake was that I watched a film the same week that I'm podcasting on. Will be on next week's podcast, called Everything Everywhere All at Once. Wait, you're shaking your head no.
I heard amazing things about it. I don't want to hear anything else from you about it.
I won't say anything.
Yeah.
I won't say anything about it. But spoiler alert, I thought it was really, really fascinating, and I can't wait to get that podcast out for next week. But so I saw 2 movies about the multiverse in a span of like 4 days.
Yeah.
And I saw 2 very different movies of different quality. Now, did I hate this movie? No, I did not. In some way, you know, I've had people tell me that some of the complaints about this film are they didn't like the cameos. I think that's lame. That is a lame argument to me. Now, if you really went into the multiverse, sure, you could have done all sorts of things. I think that's a lame argument to say that's not just because it doesn't meet your expectations. I heard the other thing is they said people have said that if you haven't watched the MCU, then you're gonna be left out. And I'm like, okay, I get that, but we're 13 years into this thing, and you're just saying that about this movie. Sorry, y'all.
Get with the program. Yeah.
I'm like, here's the truth. They know they've got you by the throat, and if you're not on this train, don't punch your ticket and get out of the way. So that is not why I didn't like it either. I thought that was a poor argument. I keep coming back to the writing. Keep coming back to the writing for a couple of reasons. I didn't even mind the story. I thought the story was a good idea for a story. Mm-hmm. I thought the film should have been 30 minutes longer, and I choke on my own spit saying that out loud. But I compare this to No Way Home, not to be like, oh, No Way Home was better. That's not what I'm doing. No Way Home was better because they let you feel it and enjoy it. It was a ride that made you feel. This one was a ride, but it didn't let you feel. And there's a lot of moments in here that could have let you feel.
Yep, I agree.
I think Wanda got screwed in this.
Yeah, huge.
I mean, we spent 10 episodes? We did 2 podcasts on WandaVision, 2 of them.
So good.
And we have this whole character arc now And I was told today, I haven't read the article, so I take this with a grain of salt. This could be just a rumor, but somebody told me today that they read that Sam Raimi didn't even watch WandaVision.
Yeah, he didn't watch a lot of the Marvel.
What?
But how do you not watch WandaVision? How do you not watch it?
Like, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
of all the things, so I felt like her character disappeared, and then they tried to sort of fix it at the end, and
And all around.
it doesn't work. There were a lot of moments like this, like Stephen Strange's journey and his tension with Christine and this idea of finding a universe. I didn't think they expanded on things enough.
Nope.
I thought that the emotional stuff, the stuff that this, you can say that the best part about No Way Home were the cameos, and that was the flashy part. The best part about No Way Home is the death of Aunt May and the scene right after. That's the best part of No Way Home, when they're on the rooftop.
Yeah.
Spoiler, but if you don't know, that happens again.
Yeah. Ship has sailed. Statute of limitations over.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But it's like the scene where they're on the rooftop is literally one of the best parts of No Way Home, because they let you feel it.
Yeah.
And I felt for this one, everything was rushed. That was my feeling. That was my feeling of this one.
It was 2 hours and 6 minutes. 2 hours and 6 minutes. There was not enough time to set up any foundation for anything. Wanda totally. This was supposed to be a Wanda movie. Let's just get that out of the way right now. Doctor Strange, yes, it's the name, but this was supposed to be that building from WandaVision to satisfy the fans. I didn't think that. I think she did the best she could with what she got, but I did not like her ending either. I did not like the way it ended.
She sacrificed herself, right? That's the implied.
I thought it was.
Sort of like she did. She just
after she wreaked all the havoc and the destruction. Let's be honest.
There's no consequences. There's no consequences for anybody one. There was no consequences. Here, there's no consequences. It's just, this is a movie of no consequences ever. Well, and people can just say, I'm sorry I killed all those people. It's no problem. Do you forgive me? I'm good now. No. Wanda is always going to be bad. She's not good in the comics either. Like, Wanda is, supposed to be this kind of a villainous, manipulative, people, eventually they don't trust her. So this whole concept of back and forth flip-floppy, it's just...
No, but I like that. And I'll tell you why. Okay, now I know you're the one that knows, right? Like, you're the Marvel...
Well, no, I'm not. I'm just saying that I don't like that in the movie. In WandaVision, it made sense. But in the movie, I was like, you can't do that so late in the game. You've already killed all those people. You're bad. Stick with bad for now.
But you see, if they planted the seeds along the way, if they kept the conflict, it would have been fine. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's that. The best part is, the best scene for that is when Professor X is talking to the Wanda under the rubble, and it's sort of like, okay, but I mean, it just felt like that all those moments that were going to help you tease out the Wanda that we've met, the conflicted Wanda, was like, they were like spat on, and then at the end it was like, well, I die now.
Well, like, it was like, because when she wreaked a ton of havoc when she was really bad. She killed the entire Illuminati, like Rebel.
2 seconds.
Yeah. It was like, literally, she didn't even break a sweat. She was so focused. But I think, going back to kind of, there was no character arc or building. So I agree on the Wanda part. Like, WandaVision endeared us to her, and then this didn't do that. But I thought that they did evolve Stephen Strange, though. Like, the whole subplot with him and Christine wasn't so much the romance piece. It was you keep thinking and deciding that this only works because you're the best and you have to do it alone, right? And her line about you think you have to be the one holding the only one holding the scalpel.
Yeah.
And so obviously that shifted by the end of the film, right? And so there was kind of growth and development for him there. Some of it played out, like, so I agree in terms of they just didn't give it time to simmer. Although 2 hours is plenty long for a movie. Like we,
Not nowadays.
No, and to be
Not in a
honest, for a
film where they're
Marvel
bringing in
movie,
an infinite number of universes.
this is
yeah,
supposed to be a big movie. Well, I'm not talking about cameos here. I'm talking about a big movie setting up the next whatever,
yeah,
whatever. And
yes.
and
Well,
a lot of the times you could have been like, okay, we're gonna close off the multiverse now. Is this the
but,
movie you close it off
yeah,
and end it, we put it to bed? Now it's like, no, it's staying around forever. We're gonna
but
keep pulling characters in from
they
everywhere.
also didn't like they didn't set anything up for the future because Wanda killed everybody. There was nobody left for the stories to continue.
Problem is that, okay, so first of all, she collapses on herself. She destroys the Darkhold. We did not see this. Chthon was mentioned. Chthon wrote the Darkhold. I have questions. Like, is it gone now? Is that easy to destroy the dark? Okay, questions, no answers, of course. I also thought that, this whole concept of Christine and Doctor Strange, there could have been a powerful moment when he says to her, I love you in every universe. That they could have set something more up there. It fell flat to me, even though that line was so powerful. Like, it actually is powerful because in every universe he had a connection with her, whether it's romantically, friendship, whatever. But yeah, it just fell flat. I didn't feel their chemistry at all. It was really brutal to me to just watch. She's a great actress. There was just nothing there for me for those two.
But they're not supposed to have continued chemistry. She's moved on, right? Like that's the whole.
In one universe, she did. We don't know the other universes. She may have moved on. She may not have. And I think there was just no like exploration of, what if piece of it. Another piece that really upset me is, okay, Wanda goes back because she wants her kids that are imaginary. Yet she shows all these different universes where all the kids are in each of the universes identical, no different. All the kids look the same. But she goes to the universe where she has to kill the mom to get the kids, and doesn't mention Vision at all. Just got over Vision. Go looking for Vision. Go find a universe where Vision is. Go find a universe where your kids are orphans, where you can actually go and take the kids and all is good. It just made, and then who's the dad in the, so there's so many like questions that I think a lot of people have now about the setting up of Wanda. It felt so flat at the end. And I just thought that, and I'll get to America Chavez in a minute about how there's this empowerment, this sense of like, taking the lead and feeling your own power, not being afraid. And at the end, it's Doctor Strange who ends up telling her, a man who ends up walking her through it, holding her hand to trust it. You're doing the right thing. It's like you're setting up this powerful character only to have that happen at the end. There was just like a misstep there for me. You either go all the way or it just didn't feel right to me.
I thought, the intention there fell flat for me too, but I thought it was intended to be like one part of his growth and development. So instead of him taking ownership, because the whole film was the only way is for you to take her power, right? That was the whole, like 80% of the film. The only way we're going to survive this is for you to take her power because you can't let the Scarlet Witch have it and nobody else is going to be able to manage or contain it except for you, even though that kills her.
I thought that was funny because, America Chavez seems reasonable. I mean, if Wanda went up to her and said, hey, could you get me into this universe?
Just need a little help. I miss my kids. Yeah.
There could be some reason there of like, let's have a conversation. I don't need to kill you and take your powers to do it. Like, I just want my kids. That's it. Yeah. That she made that quite clear as her motivation, yet chose the bad side to do it. And I just thought that was, and then
they explained it poorly.
Yeah.
Like, explained why she killed her. It was kind of poor. Well, because I need to protect my kids forever. Okay, but yeah.
Yeah, I love that too. It's like, I'm not a monster, I'm a mother. Cue clip, please, of all the horrifying things you just did.
You burst Mr. Fantastic's brain. You shredded him like cheese, and then his brain exploded.
I didn't like that. Listen, they have a purpose. They came in. The purpose was to set this up to show that she's really powerful. Totally get it. Don't care that they got killed quickly. They'll come back in some other variant. I didn't like that. I didn't like the spaghetti thing. I thought that was really, should have been more. I thought Black Bolt and his death was just
Because
fantastic.
he screamed himself to death. Like, how crazy is that? Yeah.
And then she was like, what mouth? That was the only writing I liked in the whole script. I'm like, yes, badass, liked it.
Although, so having watched The Inhumans, which I know everybody hated, but I liked, I thought that like his voice would destroy everything around him. But here, he was able to focus it and direct it so that it was only at the person it was directed at that it would like destroy, right? But
you mean Doctor Strange when they were the Thanos thing? Because he did kill
yeah. When he killed Doctor
Strange. Yeah, because Doctor Strange basically sacrificed himself.
Yeah.
Just Wanda did at the end.
Right.
Because I was the bad guy, my fingertips are black. Take me, because I've, went to some universe and tested out the Darkhold to see if
I've succumbed to the Darkhold. Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought Black Bolt, it was I didn't watch Inhumans. I heard bad things. But thought it was cool, liked the death. Didn't like the death of Captain Carter. I thought that was trash. First of all, you bring her back. She's such a cool character. Only to have her killed like that. Did not like that. And anyway, I have my thoughts on how they died. Not the length of time, and not that the cameos weren't long enough, because I know that's been a criticism. I don't have that criticism at all. I thought they served their purpose. They came in for the right moment and left at the right moment so that the story continued for Wanda, right? It was to show Wanda is the most powerful. Yeah. That was the whole purpose of it.
But not just most powerful, most versatile, because they each died by their strengths becoming a weakness, right? Professor X died in the mind, right? Mm-hmm. Black Bolt from his voice, but in his own head. Like they each died from the strengths being used against them and turned into a weakness. To me, that really indicates the intelligence and the versatility of Wanda. Oh, yeah. Like, right? She hit them their way, not her way. Her way is the
she was
snowballs, as we've kind of called out before.
She's very savage when she was talking to Reed Richards. Like, is their mother still alive? Good. I was like, oh, chilling.
So here's a question for you. It's a question we asked in January and February. Is Wanda a villain?
Yes.
Most definitely. But I would not have answered as definitively through Wanda.
I think that I answered that she would be, because there was no other way. They set her up so that she has to be the villain in order for this to even be something. She just had to be. There was no other big bad that they could have introduced in this movie. There just isn't. Like, if you think about it, this was their only option. To be honest, I just didn't like the way that there should have been a loop, like a lead into a big bad at the end. Whether it's Chthon, you want to bring in Nightmare, you want to bring in, dare I say, Mephisto, whatever. But there was no, like, not even a king. I get it. You don't want to overshadow, but there was no hint. Post-credit scenes were trash. We'll get into those at another time. Bruce Campbell being in there, I get the joke, but.
Yo, don't hate on my man, Bruce.
I love him. I do. But I did not think you needed to sit through 6 to 7 minutes of post-credit scenes just to see him say, "It's over."
You did.
No.
Yes, you did.
I disagree 100%. I've already seen him. He's beating himself up. He's under a curse. Okay, great. I don't need to see him at the end saying it's over.
It was the same as Captain America saying or talking about how we've wasted our time at the end of Homecoming. It was fantastic. I love that. I was like, every now and then they give you a final post-credit scene just because. Why did you wait around?
Yeah, you idiots. It's you. It's your fault. Yeah. Why would you make
such Marvel? Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but so it's there was I liked the Professor X engagement. That was beautifully shot. I just want to say, like, when he goes into her head, he's walking towards the hole and the TV's playing WandaVision. Mm-hmm. I was like, come on. Like, yeah, but it was awesome. Like, and then she puts her hand out and it's the same kind of like Stark bomb sheltery type of like situation going back to her memories. And then the big red cloud comes behind. Like, that to me was beautifully shot. I just loved it. I mean, obviously, I didn't want to see Professor X die for the 100th time, but yeah, I did like that. And there were rumors that Deadpool was supposed to be in the post-credit scene. It obviously didn't happen, but that he was gonna come and look around on the bodies of all the Illuminati and make a joke about the office for John Krasinski, and then make a joke about Professor X being like, oh, he's died for the third time or whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they shot that scene and then took it out, but I thought that would have been a hilarious post-credit scene if they had done that. That would have been really funny. So yeah, I mean, listen, the movie, it is what it is. I did enjoy it's funny, I enjoyed the horror aspects of it more than I enjoyed the rest of it. I just didn't like the flow of it. I felt it was very rushed to me. Very.
Do you think they tried to do too much? Like, should they have cut a third of the plot out?
You mean cut out, like make it shorter, or no?
No, so in order for it to fit the time and not feel rushed. I guess both of you are on the side of no, just make it longer.
Yeah, they should have spent more time in some areas that were relevant to spend more time in. I did not. There's just some pieces that didn't feel earned at all, to be honest. Oh my God, the scene of Wanda chasing them and the underwater kind of tunnel things, and like, spend more time here, please. This is cool. Like, we should have spent more time there. It was just not. And then the watch being the key to open the door. It was just foundation. If I didn't know what the watch meant, foundation. So I think.
Yeah, but that's what you would go for the first Doctor Strange film, right?
That's what I'm saying. If you don't remind people, because a lot happened in the first Doctor Strange. I love the first Doctor Strange compared to this one, dare I say, because Doctor Strange, the first one, was not very popular, but it had a flow. It looped you in. You got connected to him, you got connected to Christine, you got connected to the Ancient One. There was just a connection. So for this one, I just didn't feel as connected to it, to be honest. So that's unfortunate, because I really was looking forward to this movie.
Yeah, the funny thing is when I look back at the story, there isn't a whole lot I would change, but I would drastically change the characters. Or rather how they're, like, when we talked about WandaVision, and I know it's not WandaVision, so I'm not trying to say it is, but when we talked about WandaVision, you created a complex character who did something wrong.
Yeah.
But was grieving and sympathetic at the same time.
Yeah.
And so, and here's the thing. It's not even just that they removed it from the film. They expected you to watch that. This film is a direct link to that show. It's not like it's like, well, if you watch that, great, but here we are. It's like, this is the next chapter. This is WandaVision 2.
Yeah.
And in the midst of that, like, I felt bad for it. Like, the female characters in this movie are not well done.
No,
they're just not well done, which is surprising in a lot of ways, because Raimi's not unfamiliar with female characters. Not the Spider-Man movies, but in other films, my understanding. But it's like they just were not well done, and they've trained me now to be used to a 2.5 hour movie. It's fine. So it's not like I hated the story. It's not like I hated the progression of the story. I just didn't think they gave us a reason to care about the story. And that was the thing that bothered me. The visuals are stunning.
Oh,
I can't believe I'm saying this. Dina and I are on the same page with this. I actually didn't mind the horror stuff, and I don't like horror.
Yeah.
But I was like, you could tell. I felt like Sam Raimi was like most excited about doing that stuff.
You could tell because
it's his thing.
Yeah.
Like he was just like you could see those scenes had real pop.
Yeah. Oh my God, when she was crawling out of the when she was looking for she was trapped in the glass in the mirror dimension. Yeah. She was looking for ways to come out, and she comes out and she has like her head. I was like, this is Ring vibes. Like,
yeah, I said that to Mira. I said that to her in the theater.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, to be honest, I don't know, I was watching something and they had said that they came out of the theater and there was a parent with their kid, and the kid had a Wanda doll and, you know, a Doctor Strange doll. And I guess the kid was horrified after this movie that he was like, didn't want the Wanda doll anymore and was giving the Wanda doll to the mom. Like, I don't want it. I'm like,
Yeah.
I didn't take my children to see this
Yeah.
either. To be quite
Yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
there were scenes that were horrifying, were a little much
Yeah.
for a child.
It was still Marvel. It was
Yeah,
still
very
Marvel.
Marvel, but it was still for a kid.
It was intense. It was very intense. I like my 11-year-old. We had this debate. He wanted to see it, and I said, I'm not taking you until I've seen it.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen all the other ones, and Moon Knight was horror and parts, and I said,
Not really.
You ain't never.
Yeah.
We'll see where this goes. And I spoke to him, and I said, look, buddy, like, if we watch this and we watch it, we can watch it at home.
I agree. Yeah.
On. We can talk through
During
it
the day.
Yeah, like we can do this right. But anyway, like but visually the film is stunning. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Beautiful. And that's why like and I said the other comment I made too is that these characters we've spent so many years with them now. I'm not gonna not like the movie in the sense that I care about these characters, but I mean.
But I cared about them enough that I wanted them to be justified. Yeah. Like for me, the writing, it wasn't Sam Raimi that was the problem for me, right? It was the writing. There was lines in there that I'm like, this is so basic. Who wrote this? And I know it's the guy that wrote Loki, and I understand, but the writing to me was atrocious. Like a child could have written this movie.
Wasn't it in keeping though with the first, so like the first Doctor Strange really introduces a lot, but it also tells you a couple things that are true. So one is that any movie around Doctor Strange is going to be fantastical and like a little bit dark magic-y, whimsical, and feel sort of Inception-y and going to be visually like take you imagination places that other Marvel films won't. And all of that continued to be true, like in terms of the story and the writing, that was true this time too. It was just even more that, maybe too much that, like a lot of people did the first one.
The writing was so simple. They're dealing with complex things with the multiverse. I felt like this was very basic writing. Very, very, very basic. Even the conversations and when they were having pizza, like you compare that to when you have the conversations in, I'm not going to say No Way Home. I'm not comparing, but even if you take the humor, right? Even Black Widow, which got terrible ratings, the humor in that, the little basic writing, the conversations, I was like, this is funny. This is funny. I get the quips. Doctor Strange to me was watered down in those moments when I saw how he could be very good in No Way Home, being that kind of playful back and forth with, sort of a mentee like Spider-Man. So America Chavez would have been the same type of relationship. Yeah. And it didn't land for me. And I thought, I'm so disappointed because this pizza shop scene could be so much more. And it's not. It's not. Oh, he doesn't speak Spanish. That's the joke. Like it didn't land to me the way that it could have. And I don't know what else to blame it on other than the writing. Because I can't blame it on Sam Raimi for direction, because I liked the visuals. It was the pacing, the writing, and I didn't really like the ending or the story per se. Like the whole time, it's just an extension of WandaVision, like Steve said. So she wants her kids. Okay, cool. Is there anything else? Does she want Vision? Does she want to build a different life?
Yeah.
Is she pervaded by the Darkhold?
Yeah.
The kids. We already had that in WandaVision. And so for me, I would have liked if she was possessed by the Darkhold. There was another ulterior agenda, and they were using the fact that she wanted her kids to get to their main agenda. Because then she's trying to get, to me, this was just like, I want my kids back. Okay.
And willing to destroy entire universes for it.
The scale is too big.
It also,
it didn't make any sense to me. I really didn't. I liked the possession of the other Wanda. I liked when she goes back to see the kids at the end, and she looks witchy and evil, and the kids are afraid of her.
I like that part too, actually.
Yeah,
liked that
I like
because it
that was
adds stark reality, right? But these actually aren't your kids. They're not. Yeah.
But they're going to be loved, and that was the line, right? Just know that they're going to be loved.
Yeah.
But even that wasn't strong enough for you to say, okay, I'm going to sacrifice myself and kill everything now.
Well, so I didn't get, maybe you can explain this. So they find I didn't know the Darkhold was a copy, and that the actual Darkhold was the inscriptions on the wall of this temple, which was obviously built as a shrine to Wanda, like clearly. So say that again?
By Chthon. The book was written by Chthon, who's this demon-y monster in the comics, and they mentioned him in the movie. And then they never did anything with him after that, which was disappointing.
Is he the one in the comics that she has the boys with?
No, so the boys are a manifestation of sort of like Chthon created the boys through the arms of, I don't know how to explain this, but they're sort of the arms of Mephisto. It's a really weird, I'll send you the picture later, but they're not actually children. He's just basically corrupted her. And so that's why in the Darkhold, there's this whole chapter dedicated to her, which is why in the temple, the whole thing is dedicated to her. There's more to her story there that they didn't touch on at all because they didn't want to complicate things. And I also don't think they want to bring in the devil into all of this. The devil, they are the spawn of Mephisto, like they're the spawn
basically
of the devil.
The Scarlet Witch and the devil, right? Yeah.
And they can't do that because that would be banned in China and banned everywhere else. And so they mentioned Chthon. They can't go into the devil conversation because that just means you can't go into certain countries. And
the 4 like demon guards in the space, right? Are they not, like, again, they're there to worship her because it's obvious that the temple is for her.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I found that a little bit confusing because I was like, okay, so if the Darkhold was really for her, then we've got this other universe where Doctor Strange uses it and gets the black fingertips and has to be kind of killed because he's been corrupted by it. So we know that it corrupts. Okay, that's not shocking. That's pretty canon-ish in terms of doctrine, right? For any of these genre things, is the evil things corrupt people, even good people, and then I thought it was kind of neat that they chose a very physical symbol for that, which was the black tipped fingers. But I didn't get, like, if the temple, like, it feels almost like a time travel problem to me. Like, if the temple was built for her or by her, and the Darkhold is the temple, then isn't her destroying it making it impossible for all of these events to have happened because it was built for her or by her? You know what I mean? Like that weird time travel dilemma.
Oh yeah, the time travel thing is such a beautiful thing, isn't it? It's like, oh, Doctor Strange, you can just go and open portals into places. Why didn't he just open the portal and push her somewhere else? Like, this movie could have been over in 30 minutes if they really wanted to. I'm not saying it should be, but it's just ridiculous to me that, we've time travel now, we have portals, like Doctor Strange can go anywhere he wants, but yeah, we can't. Anyway, but yes, the one chapter in the Darkhold is dedicated to the Scarlet Witch. So the whole book is not. It's just one chapter of it is dedicated to her. This is why when she goes to the temple, it's that one part of the temple is basically her. So yes, it was written because she was going to be used as a vessel of some sort, that she was going to be corrupted to get Chthon what he wanted.
Right.
And that's why if they touched on that would have been something. Even if they defeated him at the end of this movie or something happened, at least there's a bigger agenda. The fact that the motivation was just her kids made it seem like she was a hysterical woman who is delusional, who didn't really have children, but thinks she had children, that she's fighting for children that don't exist. I didn't like that. I would have liked the other piece of it to play into it, like she's corrupted / doesn't know what's happening. That's why you hear the voices at the end of WandaVision, because somebody's trying to like lure her in deceptively. This was all in her head.
I kind of liked, though, like one thing I thought was kind of neat was that the idea they introduced that when you dream, you're actually experiencing yourself from a different universe in the multiverse. I thought that was kind of neat. Like, I thought that was sort of a cool twist.
Did you think about that and think of other scenes that we've seen in other movies that could be related. So if you think about, I don't know, was it where did we introduce Civil War? Not Civil, yeah, where we were introduced to Wanda and Pietro.
Ultron.
When she kind of possessed them and showed them their lives, was that from an alternate universe? Or was that actually her showing them some sort of I don't know. But that was cool because that made you think. Then you think of all the different lines from the movies when they've said, you know, I had a dream, and it was like Tony talking to Pepper about like, I had a dream and it was so real, and we had a girl, or whatever, we had a girl, older, whatever.
Oh yeah, we had a kid.
Yeah, and it was so real. Like to me, like it just kind of sparks in you little bits of stuff from the previous movies, of how they set up. Yeah, but I mean, who knows? We're never gonna get verification on that. All we know from Kevin Feige is that the multiverse is here to stay, and we're going to be using the multiverse as a tool, he said,
to build as many stories as they need without having to justify where it came from. Yeah.
So exhausting. Don't you think it'll be exhausting to just keep pulling variants? There's going to be no consequences. People are just going to die. We'll bring you back. Not a problem.
You think they'll do that though? I think they will.
Yeah. I don't like it though. I think I'm going to get like bored with the fact that, oh, you're gonna pull stuff, and then John Krasinski, there was a huge fan campaign to get this freaking guy to do Reed Richards, and then they killed him off, and it's like, okay,
he lasted like 3 minutes. Yeah,
I have questions now. Are you gonna bring him back as John, or
you satisfied the fans? Yeah,
like, is John done then? And then we have a different Reed Richards. I'm fine either way. But
interesting. No, but they all were the same in each universe, right? It wasn't like the Loki thing where like there's 10 different kinds of Lokis.
But Peter Parkerism.
I was gonna say so.
Oh, because of Miles. Yeah, you're right.
So Illuminati. So what probably will end up happening is the Doctor Strange at the end of the movie with Third Eye comes in. Clea, who is the niece of Dormammu. It takes him back to the dark dimensions because of this incursions, and we have to fix this, and you created it. I think what's going to end up happening is Doctor Strange, now that he knows of the Illuminati, will form a new Illuminati in our universe, which is the 616 universe, which they introduced in this movie, which is super cool. This is the first time they actually called our universe 616 officially. And then 838, I think, is the one where the Illuminati was. But now that he knows that I can create the Illuminati to protect, and I know now the purpose, because this other Illuminati is dead. I think he's going to end up forming his own with probably new characters. If they bring back John, I'm totally happy and pleased.
Yeah.
I love the look of him as Reed Richards, but I have a feeling that he's going to build new ones with new characters.
Well, because Captain Carter, for example, exists in What If and existed in 838, but not in 616. So
yeah, exactly.
Okay, question for you. What does the third eye mean?
It means that it's just corruption. So when you read the Darkhold, Doctor Strange he's trying to do good by defeating Thanos in the 838 universe, takes the Darkhold and takes it to another universe, right, where it's a dying universe basically, because it's and says, okay, I can practice the dark spells here, and if I practice them here, there's not much ramifications because my other universe is safe. As he's reading and learning these spells, it's actually corrupting him, and they have to kill. He sacrifices himself. They kill Thanos, whatever. So the third eye is just basically a message that is always with you. You've already are corrupted. It's always going to be with you, but it's controlled. Like it seemed like he was controlling it,
which is the for our Doctor Strange versus.
So I don't know what's going to happen next, but I think that's what the third eye is. It's just the corruption of the Darkhold on you. It stays with you because you've read it, you've learned the spells,
right,
et cetera, et cetera.
The end of WandaVision, which got everybody excited, was basically her reading the Darkhold from a distance, right? Like that was the big.
So you mean because she was
Remember
like
stirring her coffee and not even holding the, but she was like reading it and learning it. Like her powers were so strong that she didn't have to
astral projections, because that's what she did in the first Doctor Strange, where they can learn something when he's sleeping. Like
Yeah.
he can learn spells. So I think that the one thing that also disappointed me is that she didn't use as many darker spells. Like maybe she used a couple, but I thought she'd use more. What did you think, Steve? I don't know, because I thought
pieces.
I know, but I wanted no, I know, but I didn't know if those were spells or just her powers. I wanted more, like I wanted, like, you know how they did the runes and all the stuff in the last, like I thought that was kind of cool in WandaVision, and it showed. I want to see what's in this Darkhold. What did she learn other than just being violent? Like I wanted a little bit more just to show me what the spells she was using were.
Hashtag Dina.
I saw more of the spells from Doctor Strange than I did from her, to be honest.
I think
the zombie.
Dina wants a Darkhold recipe book, is what she wants, and she wants.
You see me there, like learning,
right? Yeah. Well, because the dream walking really was the most powerful Darkhold spell that was used, was it not?
Oh yeah, but the dream walking, I mean, Doctor Strange could do. I wanted to see something that she could do that like
that nobody else could do.
I don't. And I didn't think that her killing people was a spell. I thought it was just her usual powers. Like when she goes to the soldier and says "run" in his ear, like that's
yeah.
That's not really, yeah.
That was
I thought that was
beautifully
really
creepy. Like that's probably like, I don't mind stuff like that because I just don't like the horror jumpy stuff. But that to me was beautifully creepy. Like I was like, oh, okay, now what's gonna happen?
And the whisper in the ear, I thought that was I thought that was really, really well done. I really like that. So yeah, I mean, you know, again, I know that the horror elements probably weren't your favorite. I'm very surprised that they were mine, because that was the only thing I liked about it. I did not like. I also didn't like the memory bank or the memory station that they had. I thought that was like, I wanted more out of that, and I just didn't.
It was an unusual interruption. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm like,
it was random. It was just like, oh, memory thing. You step into a memory thing, and it's like, okay. And out of all the memories, the memory of this, okay, I get it. You have to set up some sort of a story behind the watch, but I
thought maybe it was more for the purpose of like giving us America's background.
Oh no, because that one I got.
Yeah,
that one I got. I meant his.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
I don't know.
First, right? So it was kind of like maybe they needed this to sort of just tease into it, but yeah.
Yeah, it was not well.
Yeah, it did kind of come out of nowhere, and you're like, I don't. Okay, but why? Yeah.
Yeah, I thought again there was just a lot of things that I disagreed with in terms of, but I hate to say it, I liked. When they were going into all the universes and tumbling, and you see the cartoon version, and you see
love that.
Yeah, and I think you see Savage Land in there. Don't quote me, but I think you do, with the dinosaurs and everything else. I was like, this is cool because they could use this later to say, hey, we introduced some pieces of these universes in some way. I thought that was, I mean, that was CGI, so like anybody can do that, but I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, I wish they'd given us a little bit more of that. Not a longer montage, but like a little bit of time in some other universes or some different spaces. That would have been fun. Like that would have been, to me, a worthwhile interlude and a little bit of levity. I guess it was too soon for when all of the darkness really hit in the film, but it was a nice point of levity. Same with the whole, like, you know, always get food and everything's the opposite of what you think. Like the pizza balls and the, hey, you didn't pay for that. Like just those little pieces, they just happened too soon because the movie wasn't dark yet. Sorry. The pizza balls or the
rules. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Marvel doesn't like
I'm honestly.
It was pointless. It's like, I'm going to tell you the rules. There are no rules, and find food. It's like, what?
Yeah, and it's like food is free around town. It's like, you know what?
I like that.
With inflation. Yeah, but with inflation and everything now, it's like, such a touchy subject.
I'd spend time in the paid universe. I'd spend time in the paid universe if gas prices are lower.
Yeah, you're like, please don't hit me with the gas prices being lower. It's really hitting me here. No, I thought that was just, I thought the rules were a little strange, but maybe they're touching on something bigger, right? Maybe they're touching on something where natural beauty like is is kind of the scene, because they were setting up all the buildings with the flowers, and you know what I mean? Like they were saying, I think, and people were kind of not frumpy looking, I don't want to say that, but like they were not done up.
Yeah.
Somebody had mentioned that they were carrying umbrellas, like maybe they were planning the weather in certain universes where, like, you know, now it's going to rain and everybody kind of plans for that, or like, you know, it's going to be sunny for a bit, and it's kind of climate change slash crops slash I don't know anything about this, but it seemed like that's what they were setting up.
Maybe, but I do feel like the premise of most multiverses. So like I'm gonna go way back and think about like Sliders or any kind of show like that. And it always is that things aren't what they look like, and the rules that you're used to don't apply here. Like those are always truths in every iteration of a multiverse, right? Is where green means go one place, green means stop somewhere else. And where, you know, I don't know, men are the more physically powerful of the genders in one place, the next one they're not. Like the whole premise of multiverse is usually taking one aspect and completely flipping on its side or making it opposite or doing something different with it. And then the butterfly effect of how that changes society as a whole, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And I think it's funny to me that the relationship, so when we go into that universe, Mordo, and I wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought about the Mordo's Doctor Strange relationship in that universe, the 838 universe, where basically they were friends, or so he alluded to. Like we were friends, and you got corrupted, or he got corrupted by a Darkhold, and they put up the statue to thank him, even though he was really the reason why. But what it seemed like is they were maybe trying to allude to the fact that, oh, like Doctor Strange and Mordo were friends in that universe. But I just didn't buy it. Like I don't know. Like I don't know what your thoughts were, because we know the relationship, and you would think the relationship would be the same across. But I don't know what you thought about that Mordo.
But it wasn't.
Yeah, we drugged him with the tea and all this stuff. I don't know. It was just a little strange.
But none of the relationships were the same across. So why would that one need to be the same?
It just didn't feel, but he still betrayed him. So it kind of was the same, but it started off by saying it's not the same. I just thought it was kind of like, why would he drug him when he knows that the Doctor Strange in that universe is dead? So the person who caused that, you guys killed. So you know this.
No, but they said that though, Dina. They said essentially the idea was that they didn't trust any Stephen Strange. Because that's what they were sort of going with, which I understood that. I was okay with that. Because
I just didn't think the relationship between them. Yeah, that makes sense actually. I did remember that, because they, like, once they get their hands on the Darkhold, they get corrupted, or they don't ever think about the greater. Yeah, that makes sense. I just didn't like.
Yeah, I think bigger than that though, again, was Strange's story arc, which is his weakness is actually the thought that nobody was as good as he was, so only he could do things and fix them alone. Right? Yeah. That's a really big change for him, is realizing that he is not the answer to everything, and trying to be, or doing it all, or being the one to figure it all out is his downfall. And that was true of the Strange that died in 838.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just the Darkhold, it was but if I don't, nobody can, so I have to, right?
Yeah.
There is no way. There is no other way. That was a very consistent kind of theme throughout. And the growth for him was recognizing actually there is. And that was him saying to America, although this felt very cheesy and not built up properly, the kind of dad speech of, you have it in you and trust yourself.
Yeah. Oh God.
I get what they meant to do, but I was like, it feels authentic. But I think it was intending to drive again. That was the climax of his growth and development of saying, no, it's not me absorbing her power. It's her being empowered to own her power. Very sadly, in today's world, often those things only happen when men speak up for women, sadly, because we don't live in an equal society as much as we try to. So in that sense, it was actually, unfortunately, reflective of reality. But the point really was less like him being the speech that catalyzes her into action, and more him letting go of the responsibility of ownership for all of it.
Mm-hmm.
To me, anyways, I think that was the point.
No, that makes sense. I got that sense as well. But again, I wasn't a huge fan of the America Chavez character in this, but that's a controversial opinion.
Well,
because a lot of people loved her in it, and I'm like, it's not about her. It's how they laid the character didn't make sense to me right off the bat.
Is she from the comics? Like, is this
Yeah.
a newly introduced? Okay,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she is, and she's very powerful. But I don't know. Maybe it was just because it was too rushed. If we had spent just a little bit more time, it would have been different for me. But again, we're fussy, a little bit fussier than most, right? A lot of people came out of it. They might have really liked it. That's cool. But I think in terms of fan service, it was not, it was lacking. And I'm not going to take cameos as fan service because that's kind of cheating. Like you bringing in Professor X. Okay, cool. That's a given. That's a treat.
Yeah.
But when I mean fan service, I mean to the story, to like, I have to bring it back to No Way Home, just like Steve does, because No Way Home was such fan service, and it wasn't about the cameos. It was everything else. It was like, it was Aunt May saying, you know, the line, right? It's literally right out of the comics about, you know, having great responsibility. Like that is fan service that, you know, you catch on. And so anyway, I liked it to a degree. Wasn't my favorite. I wouldn't put it as top 5. I would put it in the middle somewhere. It's not low 5 either. I would compare it to like a Black Widow-ish or Ant-Man-ish. First Ant-Man actually was good, but yeah.
Oh no, this is definitely way at the bottom for me.
I got that sense from you.
It really is the horror bits. Like if it hadn't been so dark and so horror-y, I may have come out with a different opinion. But I don't like it.
Well, here's a question.
I didn't like.
Here's a question: Is our, you know, we're getting near the end here, but we're in a multiverse world now, and not just in Marvel. Everybody's excited about the multiverse, but specific to this film, what do you think? I wanted to ask what you think, because this is, like you said, Mira, this is a very dark movie. So what is hope in this movie now? Where is hope in this multiverse? Because I feel like this is a big question with a very big universe now. Like we're through the looking glass, quite literally. But this is this is like Thor: The Dark World beyond dark, in terms of the film. So I was just wondering what you thought about that. Like, why are we obsessed with the multiverse? What is it that, and what is this one about? To you.
It's opening up the doors to other characters. It's really the introduction of everybody, and it's the bringing back of folks that you thought were gone. This is why people like the idea for it for Marvel, because ever since the Fox acquisition, there's been a lot of talk about, oh, who are you bringing? Who are you bringing? You're bringing X-Men, you're bringing Fantastic Four, this and that. And I think the multiverse is a great way to introduce those characters. I think there's also an obsession with, can we bring back older ones? Like, can we bring back Iron Man? Can we bring back Robert Downey Jr.? Can we bring back Scarlett Johansson? And we forget that those characters, the way they ended was so satisfying, right? It was like devastating and satisfying at the same time, that when you bring it back, you dilute the entire character all over. Like it just wouldn't, it would ruin it. So I think Marvel wants to keep that door open with the multiverse to gauge and see what they want to do. But I think that's our obsession as fans. We are so spoiled. I know I speak for myself, to the point where I will complain, even though Kevin Feige has given me the treat of the Illuminati, but I'll complain about something else. So we're very spoiled. We're thinking, oh, what's next? You can bring back the X-Men. Why didn't you bring back all of them? Why didn't you bring back this character or that character? And so and Wolverine, and you're like, come on, like you just were given a treat. Relax. But I think for me, it's that would be my obsession. I think for the future, it's that cool concept of other versions of yourself, like other variants of the same character that you get to be introduced to, like the different Wandas, different Doctor Stranges, who else? Different Thors. Like, how cool would that be? I think that would be something that is exciting as well for me, anyway, as a fan. Maybe that's the obsession with the multiverse, and it's the science behind it. How does this whole thing work? Who travels? Some people can travel, but some people can't. So are the people who can't travel now going to become some sort of a commodity that we're going to like want to, I don't know, kill or enslave, right? And they just become like like, how does that work? So I think it's that whole concept is very thrilling for me as well to understand. So that would be my answer.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on option 2. Like, I really think, to me, the hope in it is that something like somewhere else existing exactly at the same time, things could be playing out differently, and some of that differently is better and some of that differently is worse, but things could be different a little bit, kind of the what ifs. But I will say, Dina, I think we're playing really fast and loose with the term science when we're talking about a multiverse, because it's not science, it's not scientific.
And nobody will change my mind. It is not like Back to the Future. Endgame has just told us this. No, but well, you can dance around me in that topic, Miriam. I will take it from you. So you explain it to me, please. Educate me.
Yeah, no, I just, it's not science, it's whimsical, but that's part of the fun, right? Is that ability to say, no, we can't prove it, we can't evidence, we can't recreate it, but imagine.
Would it be so cool if we did? Yeah. I know. I think it would be awesome, and the dreaming piece of it, I love, because we all dream and we all have that connection to dreams. And so if we now have this visual of, oh, the dream is just another universe where we have different lives, and like, it's like, I think that's cool. I like that concept a lot because it's relatable and everybody can kind of get attached to that. What about you, Steve?
It's funny. I'm loving listening to this because I'm totally gone the other way. I really think that the multiverse has become so popular because it emphasizes everybody's story. It validates everyone all at the same time. And I think that's why that's sort of my theory as to why it's so popular. But it's so interesting to me. Like this, it's fascinating to me. Again, we're talking about Marvel tonight, but I mean, like, DC is now into it. DC's always been into it, but DC's going there, which makes me feel bad. I've said this before on the podcast. I feel bad for DC on this one because they've been planning the Flash movie longer than they've been planning this movie.
Oh, poor Flash.
And now it's coming out after, and people are going to be like, well, it's not as good as No Way Home. I just feel like they should have gotten a win there. Yeah. But anyway, that's a whole other story. Everything Everywhere. No, go ahead, Mia.
Yeah. I was just going to say, and I have to say about The Flash, that Grant Gustin does such a good job on the TV show that I just don't buy the guy they picked for the Flash in the movies, Ezra.
But that guy's a mess. He got arrested. He's like in jail for abuse. So I don't know if they're going to release this movie.
Yeah, they are.
Are you sure? That guy is really bad.
Because that's bad timing. Yeah.
If they release Fantastic Beasts, they're going to release.
Yeah, that's oh my God, what a great topic to bring up. We'll talk about that time.
But I mean, you're right. I just think that's so interesting to me because, I mean, the multiverse is just popular. And I feel like Marvel was telling one story and now they've splintered into so many different ways. And I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying it's different. That's why I think it's so popular right now. And I think this one in particular is very, very interesting because, I mean, we can debate whether or not the Doctor Strange and America Chavez speech, I mean, I think we see the flaws in that speech there, but that's the only argument when he says everything in your life has been building to this moment that sort of gives any sort of theme to the multiverse. Like, before that moment, to me, in this film, it was just sort of random going through multiverses just for the heck of it. And then they sort of settled on the fact that her life her America's life, these random events and things that she was going through and building towards something. And I actually thought that was very interesting because in the midst of this poorly written, chaotic script, they did try to land the plane somewhere, and I sort of thought that was very interesting because that shows, like to me, that shows in the Marvel universe that they don't want the multiverse to be like it can be random because it's a multiverse, but they don't want the purpose of the multiverse to be random. Like they actually are bringing it in with a reason.
It's
And I
not a
think
free for all.
yeah, it's not a free for all. And I think the other way to look at that is it's very, very bleak. But I thought that I personally that was me. Like I think that, and I think you're both right. Like the multiverse is fun. Like you can include. This was my argument on No Way Home. I think as well. I'm not comparing them again, as we've said, but I think like No Way Home was interesting because I enjoyed it because it brought back my Spider-Man. And people 10 years younger than me enjoyed it because it brought back their Spider-Man. And my kid enjoyed it because it had his Spider-Man. And it was sort of interesting to have almost 3 generations of fans celebrated in the same movie. It's not the same in this one because I do think that statistically Miriam is the only person that watched The Inhumans. I think that she was the
very possible.
Yeah,
the rating was
Professor
one
X,
person,
though.
and it was you, and that was it. But,
Yeah, but even the Professor X was a variant from the X-Men cartoon, and as he rolled up in the yellow chair, you could hear
yeah.
Did you catch that? That was awesome. I was like, and so you get nostalgia just from that. So I totally hear you about that. I think No Way Home did that very well.
The funny thing about that, though, is that's not just about nostalgia. That's about marketing. That's the other thing. Because they're bringing back X-Men 97. They're calling it X-Men 97. They're doing a new seasons of it in the next year or two.
Aren't they doing it on Disney Plus?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're picking up where they left off. And they're doing I think they did sign for 2 seasons.
Oh, and did they really? I did not know that.
I think I could be wrong.
That's again, like it's I think that's why the multiverse there's an obsession with it. But I don't want it to last for a long time, to be honest. I think it needs to be like either close, come to an end, introduce a bigger bad, something happens. I don't want to do this ride all the time for the next few movies.
They're building to Kang. They're building to Secret Wars, and then they'll move.
I know Secret Wars is going to be awesome. Yes.
Yeah, they will build to that.
But what they're doing, but who knows when that'll be? They'll milk it for a bit. Yeah. Oh no, we don't. I'm curbing my expectations.
Right. Yeah.
Expectations kill you. I tell you right now. Anyway.
Yeah, I know, Steve. You tell me every time, and every time I let myself down.
But anyways,
give bad reviews on movies, and I fuss around about details that don't matter. Yes, I know. But overall, I mean, it's a must watch. I have to say.
Whoa, let's get to that. Let's do it. We should screen it or skip it. Here it is. Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. Screen it or skip it.
Skip it.
Screen it, definitely. The visuals are beautiful. You have to see it on the big screen. You have to. Wow. It's just, yeah.
Dina,
This is, by the way, the first time.
No, you gotta see it. You got to see it at least once. You gotta on the big.
But only, yeah.
Yeah, like the horror elements on the big screen. You have to. You just. It's the first of its kind in Marvel where they entered the horror area. So even if the writing is crap, I didn't enjoy the story as much. Just for the visuals, you gotta go. It is Sam Raimi through and through. Mm-hmm. I know, but you know what? It's funny. I don't like horrors. I have nightmares.
Yeah.
I loved the horror elements. I loved the going into the house as she's creeping through the stairs trying to possess Wanda. I thought that was my favorite part.
Yeah. This is the first time in all of the podcasts that I've done that I've actually said skip it.
Which is interesting. It's history in the making. We're writing the statement.
First time I skip it. I'm a pretty easy sell usually. I like most everything.
Didn't do it for you.
So I mean, I say maybe skip it, or at least know what you're getting into. Maybe that's the difference, is really know what you're getting into if you're going to screen it. But my vote is skip it. Yeah.
See, this is fascinating. This is fascinating. I really thought that, well, it's not a shock to me with the horror elements that you would say skip it. It is a shock to me that Dina said you got to screen it. That's a shock. I would say this.
You have to see it on the screen.
I would say you're going to screen it because, again, there isn't anybody right now who's even passively interested in Marvel who's going to skip it.
Yeah,
because that's just what happens. It's a skip it for me because I think, yes, you're right on the visuals. Dina, I'm with you 100% on the visuals. It's a skip it for me because it is poorly written. And
I agree. I had to sit through. I told you, I almost walked out. But I sat through it. I'm glad I did.
Dina almost walked out, but you should pay to see it. That's what Dina's is right now.
So is it actually a screen it, or is it a leave and protest screen it?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point, Miriam. Let's think about that. Let's go out and riot after. No, I think it was really beautifully shot. It's not my favorite. So
yeah, I gotta stay true to my feelings on it, and it's not because of the horror. It's not. I mean, I think. I feel like if anybody who's interested in Marvel is going to watch it. Anybody who is, that's fine. I got no beef with that. But if I watch it on my flat screen at home, I wouldn't feel like I missed too much. I'll be okay.
Yeah.
But
for those of you who have kids, just think about.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Taking your kids to it.
Not a movie for children.
I would not. Yeah. I know it's not rated R. It probably could have been. And they could have added a bit more horror to it if they, yeah.
How would it have been rated R? This is a PG movie. This is a PG horror film. It is, even with all the blood, it is still PG. You saw Captain Marvel get sliced in half, but you did not see her get sliced in half. You know, you saw the thing come toward her, and then it I'm sorry, there was a lot of blood. This was a PG horror movie to me, and
I just think about it before taking your depending on the age.
I think you need to think about it before taking your kids. I just disagree with the fact that I've heard people say it should have been rated R, and I don't understand people.
No, I said it could have been rated R if they added more horror to it. So if they could have actually made it more horrifying, because technically that wasn't blood; it was oil all over her. I think they did that on purpose. Because it was, if you look at it closely, it's oil.
And so I was like, why does she have blood dripping down her?
It's not blood, because if you actually, because I don't know, they're trying to dance a fine line here. Anyway, they could have made it rated R if they added more to it and really went full out. But I would, again, for the kids, if it's a certain age, there are some scenes that I would have nightmares about, especially like the Professor X one, and like some of those, it's not. She's crawling out of the mirror. That is.
The snowballs. Much we've seen that already, snowballs. But everything else was. Yeah.
She loves those magic snowballs. She really does.
Oh God, that was so funny when I gave that such a hard time on that finale, the snowball fight.
Yeah.
I will take that back now compared to this. I like taking back to the finale of WandaVision, because that was so much more satisfying for me. Like that was perfect. It laid foundation for everything. It showed you, and she's like, I don't need you to tell me who I am. And then she becomes like, that was, it chills again thinking about it. And with this, only a couple of lines that I liked were when she was being horrific to people.
Yeah.
Terrible. That's terrible.
And
Yeah.
you're not
Oh, is your wife at home with your kids? Good. She'll raise them while I kill you. Horrible. That's my favorite
Very
part of
rough
the movie.
line. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's way too funny. But yeah, no, see it on at home, see it on the big screen, whatever
watch it
floats
on
your
your
boat.
phone. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Terrible. Yeah, just terrible. It'll be on Disney Plus soon.
It
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Well, see, this is my point. This is my point. On this one, I am not like with No Way Home. I was like, you have to be a part of the fan experience. You have to be part of it.
Oh,
And I often am
Yeah.
like that. I'm often like that in a Marvel film because there's something. The fan experience right now is something. But this one, even Mira and I don't know if you felt this way, Mira. I thought they, other than the reveal of Reed Richards, it was like, like the fans were not
Yeah.
like, let's go.
The theater wasn't reacting. Yeah, totally.
Same
But
with,
when we saw No Way Home, like the theater was interacting with the screen.
oh yeah.
Which made it better. Like that was so fun. Yeah.
No, we were just watching
yeah.
and Mira
Yeah.
was
There's no
interacting with the screen. That's what.
Well, that doesn't count.
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Oh no, no.
You're so funny.
I like to
We
connect
should
with the
do
characters.
Mira video reactions. It should just be video reactions. Miriam in a theater, and we put it on YouTube, and it's gonna go viral.
No,
I
that's
don't
gonna
know
be our
about that.
Screenfish TikTok. It's gonna be trailers with Mira. That's
Oh,
what.
I love that. Yes, do it.
Oh.
Ooh, oh my.
Oh no.
I just want to put Mira in front of a TV and just make her watch shocking stuff just to see her react. Like that would be that should be on its own a show. That would be
Mystery
hilarious.
Science Theater 3000.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's just be
So
called
Mira, our video for today is
Messing with Mira. That's what it'll be called.
Nice. Yep. Okay. We should copyright that. Anybody uses it, we get royalty.
so funny. Yeah, we're gonna monetize this for sure. So funny. But yeah. So that's that. It's very I have to say, like between this and I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I was really hard on that show too. When I first saw it. So
Honestly, okay. I want
But
to
that had Zemo dancing to. Yep.
Yeah,
That's it. I was gonna say
that was the best part though.
If every universe can have a dancing Zemo, we're good. Like.
Yeah, but that was the only part of it the whole
Yeah,
show.
we'll go back to that one. No, but that was another one. I was with you on that because I said like that was one of the most important Marvel stories they'd told, and they didn't stick the landing. And that's it was again, that was one of the times I was like, writing, man. Like I don't care.
Well, but also because of the way they ordered it. So maybe, I mean, this movie was delayed a year, right? Maybe we would have felt different about it if it had come out a year ago. Because Falcon and the Winter Soldier was supposed to come out before WandaVision, and instead they did it the other way around.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah,
and
that's very true. You're correct.
It matters, yeah.
There were also extensive reshoots.
Came out when it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, how would you feel? How would you feel if the writer of WandaVision wrote the Doctor Strange movie?
I was hoping that they would. I thought
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get why they would. I mean, the Loki was great, so you would think the tie-in would have been there. But yeah, I just thought. Well,
WandaVision was on a very different path, though. That wasn't time travel, or not time travel. Multiverse.
Yeah, that's why they brought in Loki.
Loki totally was, yeah.
Yeah, but then that's what I'm trying to say is the multiverse writing in this movie was not. It was so basic. It wasn't even the level of Loki that you could have just brought in the writer from WandaVision because it was sort of a WandaVision / Doctor Strange arc building. And I bet you it would have been slightly better.
I felt that.
And because they would have captured Wanda a little bit more too.
I felt they needed a female voice. This was a female-centric
Yeah.
film. Even though it was Doctor Strange, it was female-focused. They needed a female voice for her. And I felt that was...
And for America Chavez.
And for
America Chavez, it would have been good. Yeah. Yeah, they could have done more with Christine, too. Like, there was a lot to do with Christine, to be honest. But, yeah. Look at us critiquing like we're better than Kevin Feige and better than all those writers. We know how to write a good movie. Yeah.
They just let us do it. The world would be perfect.
That's the problem. Is we didn't. That's the problem.
Yeah. Come talk to us, Kevin. We're good. We got you. We'll plan the next phase. Don't worry. Yeah. With all the fan service included.
Well,
yeah. Anyway.
Ladies, I gotta wrap us up here because my dog is starting to bark and getting mad. So
I know, so is mine. Needs to go out. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this was nice.
Yes, thank you both so much. I love chatting with you. I love chatting with you whether we're on a podcast or not. So, but I mean, this has just been great. I really appreciate you both. Thank you so much. And for you at home, a reminder, you can find us wherever podcasts are available. You can like and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find us, hopefully, wherever your local podcast provider may be, where we have lots of interviews with industry professionals, as well as great podcasts and conversations like this one. If you go to the podcast page at screenfish.net, you can download Fishing for More, which are small group questions to help get the conversation started where you are, assuming you want to engage in the multiverse as well. We will be back next week to dive back into the multiverse, but not the one of madness. Well, actually, kind of is madness. We're going to talk about everything, everywhere, all at once, which I'm looking forward to that as well. So, ladies, I thank you again. And for you at home, we started the conversation. This was Screenfish.